Dracula? When we think of Dracula, we picture a vampire, fangs, cloaks, and a thirst for blood. But the real story, the one that inspired the legend, is far more terrifying. Because Dracula was real. And his name was Vlad III, Prince of Wallachia, better known as Vlad the Impaler. Born in 1431 in Transylvania, Vlad was the son of Vlad Dracul. Dracul meaning dragon, a title from the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric group sworn to protect Christianity. But young Vlad's life was anything but noble. At the age of 13, he and his brother were taken hostage by the Ottoman Empire to ensure his father's loyalty. 4 years he lived in captivity, watching executions, floggings, and impalements, the preferred Ottoman punishment. This wasn't just discipline. It was psychological warfare. A message carved into flesh. Vlad watched, and he learned. When he finally returned to Wallachia, he wasn't a boy anymore. He was vengeance wearing a crown. Once in power, Vlad unleashed a reign of terror so brutal that even his enemies stopped advancing, not out of fear of defeat but fear of what he'd do to them if caught. He used impalement as his signature form of punishment. A sharpened stake would be driven through a person's body, vertically, often through the rectum or mouth, avoiding vital organs to ensure the victim stayed alive for hours, sometimes even days. Foreign envoys, criminals, enemies, even his own disloyal subjects, all met the same horrific fate. One account claims that when Ottoman soldiers marched into one of Vlad's abandoned towns, they found a forest of over 20,000 corpses on stakes, rotting, swaying in the wind, covering the hills as far as the eye could see. But perhaps the most disturbing story? The banquet of blood. Vlad invited hundreds of boyars, Wallachian nobles, to a feast. They'd mocked his father and caused political instability. They feasted, drank, laughed. And then Vlad gave a signal. His guards stormed in, seized the nobles and impaled them one by one, on the very spikes set up around the dining hall. Vlad watched silently as they screamed. Some say he even dipped his bread into their blood. He ruled with fear. And it worked. Crime in his land vanished. Thieves wouldn't dare touch a coin left in the street. But it came at a terrible cost. Thousands of innocent lives, rivers of blood, and a legacy steeped in cruelty. The stories of his barbarism reached the heart of Europe. Even the Pope knew his name. German pamphlets painted him as a monster, a man so cruel that the devil himself would shiver in his presence. And yet, in Romania, he is remembered not as a monster but a hero, a ruler who protected his people from Ottoman invasion and lawlessness. Vlad died in battle in 1476, decapitated, his head sent to the Sultan of Turkey as a trophy. But his legend lived on. Centuries later, Irish author Bram Stoker stumbled upon the name Dracula, a nod to Vlad's father. He took that name and wrote a novel about a vampire. Dracula the Undead Count was born. But the real Dracula? He didn't drink your blood. He made you watch while he spilled it. And the whispers of his cruelty still echo through the mountains of Transylvania, in cold stone castles, in the wind through the pines, and in the silent screams of those who dared cross Vlad the Impaler. Please like, share and subscribe.